All right, there we go. All right, yeah, so the whole point of this chapter, if you remember from Tuesday, of chapter 1, is the whole point of this course is, can math help us do things in life better? In this chapter, can math help us vote better? Meaning, not we vote, but I mean, make systems that more faithfully determine the will of the people. That's the purpose of voting, right? Is to determine the will of a whole group of people. Well, it's a little more tricky than you might think what the will of the people is. We talked about last time our way of electing the President of the United States, right? And all we ask for is your first choice. We don't consider second choice, third choice, right? And I gave the example, I said, what if, and I just made up numbers, but I said, what if there was only 100 or let's say 99 people voting, and we had Trump, Clinton, and candidate number 3 and candidate number 4. And I said, what if 50 people, they thought Trump was number 1, and Clinton was their second favorite, and then candidate 3, candidate 4. That's just how those 50 people felt, right? These are 50 people and their preferences, maybe. We don't even know, because we weren't allowed to cast our second favorite, third favorite, fourth favorite. We don't have preference ballots. Right, not for president anyway. We do. There's other things in society. We'll get into that today and also Tuesday. Other, like I told you, Rookie of the Year and all kinds of sports things, and also Olympic committees and sometimes mayors, and there's different ways. There's other voting systems even used in our society. But what if the case? And what if 49 people put Clinton first, this person second, this person third, and Trump was like their 10th one? Maybe there's a bunch of other candidates too. Just what if? Just what if, for example. Now, technically, by our system of just saying who got the most first place, Trump would win, right? Because Trump got 50 first place. If all you look at is first place, what's that called? That's called plurality. Remember that? When all you think about is, what's your favorite? I don't want to hear anything about your second favorite, third favorite, fourth favorite. I just want to hear who's your favorite. Well, in that case, Trump would get 50 first place votes right here. These 50 people put Trump first, and these 49 people put Clinton first. So Clinton would get 49 first place votes, thus Trump would win. But look at the will of the people. I mean, is that really faithfully the will of the people? And again, I'm not saying this is how it really is. I don't know what it really is. We didn't ask. But what if 49 people thought Trump was the worst in the world? They'd rather have anybody other than Trump. Whereas all 99 people thought Hillary was either first or second. These 50 thought Hillary was the second best, right? And these 49 thought she was the first best. All 99 thought she was first or second. Wouldn't it be true that the people, the will of the people, really is more in favor of Clinton than of Trump in that case? If that was really how things were, right? So then our system would be kind of not doing a good job at really determining the will of the people, which is the purpose of a voting system, right? So that's why we're looking at other voting systems. So plurality method, the method we use for president, has got some obvious problems, doesn't it? It can sometimes not really honestly give you the will of the people. So we need another method. We're going to get, in this chapter now, that plurality is just the first one. We're going to get altogether four different voting methods, ways that you can determine the will of the people. 4 different methods, and for each of those methods, we're going to ask questions about how fair those methods are, like I'm kind of doing right now. We're going to, in fact, develop 4 fairness criterion, we're going to call them. We're going to say, like I'm saying right now, we're going to say, hey, that's not really fair. That's not really fair if somebody wins when, Trump wins, when really Trump is hated by almost half the crowd. That's not really fair to say that's the will of the people, for example, right? I'm putting out an idea of fairness, and I'm criticizing a method based on that. Well, that's what we're going to do for the rest of this chapter. 4 ways of determining the winner, and 4 critiques of those ways. Fairness criterion. All right. So with that in mind, let's do that. Did I copy it? Yeah, I did. Okay, there it is. Good. So let's look at this one. So here comes the second way. This way is basically going to give points to everybody. So Let's first off, let me remind you what's happening here. Can you all see that? Let me yeah. Okay, let me make. Okay, so you guys remember how these things work, right? This means 8 people voted this way, and 5 people voted that way, 2 people voted this way, and 1 person voted that way, right? So 8 people liked D best, followed by B, followed by C, followed by A. 5 people liked C best, etc., etc. Okay, so what we're going to do now, instead of just, well, you tell me first off, who would win that election if we just did plurality? If we just said, who got the most first place votes? Let me see. D here got 8 first place votes, right? D got 8. C got 5 first place votes. A got 2 and 1. A got 3 altogether, didn't he? And I guess B got none. Nobody put B first place. So if we just looked at first place, that's called the plurality method. That's the first method. That's how we decide president. D would win the election by plurality method. Now, we want to do a new method. It's called Borda count, and all it means is you put points to everything. Here's the words right here. Borda count. I'm kind of scribbling it. Borda count. And so basically, it's a pretty simple system. It's almost like how they calculate GPA, right? Your grades. An A is worth 4 points, a B is worth 3 points. Same kind of thing. You just say, hey, every first place vote is worth 4 points. Every third place vote is worth 2, and then, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. So you just give them points, and you just add up their points. In other words, let's do candidate D first off. How many total points, using this system, does candidate D get in this election? Well, 8 people put D first. So 8 times 4. Let me hold up there. You see why I'm doing that? 8 4-point votes for D. Right? Because when you put D first place, you're saying give D 4 points. So 8 people voted D first place. So 8 times 4. Now, what about these 5 people? Where'd they put D? Down here, third choice, which is 2 points. Right? So the bottom place is 1 point, and it just goes up from there. So when they put D right here, second from the bottom, it's worth 2 points. So 5 people each gave D 2 points, right? So you just add these all up. 5 people gave D 2 points. Okay, what about those 2 people? What did they give D? They put D right there, only 1 point each. And lastly, this person gave D 2 points. Add that up. What is that? You should just calculate 32, 42, 43, 44, 5. Is it 46? I think it's 46. D got 46 points altogether. So you see how this is a point system. It's a different way of determining the winner. Instead of just looking at first choice, we're looking at all the choices and giving them points. We'll just add up all the points. Whoever gets the most points wins. It's another method that has been devised for determining the will of the people. See, you guys see how I did that? You want to try, we can do them in any order, doesn't matter. How about we jump back to candidate A now? Can you do candidate A? So find out how many points, let me give you a second, then I'll finish it up. How many points candidate A received? So go group by group. Start with these first 8 voters. These first 8 voters. And here's where they put candidate A. And then next 5 voters, 2 voters, 1 voter. Add up all the points you calculated. You use calculators on the test and everything. So 8 people gave A 1 point each, right? And then the next 5 people gave A what? 3 points. 3 points each. And the next 2 people gave A 4 points each. And the last 1 person also gave A 4 points. So what does that all come out to be?
35.
Is that what it is? Okay, thanks. 35. So A got 35 total points. Is that making sense how I'm figuring that out? doing a point system. This is another way we could determine elections. Of course, the big question is this more fair or not? Okay, try candidate B. We gotta do, it's a little more tedious, isn't it, than just looking at first place. But computers would do all this in real life. So, do candidate B now, find out how many total points candidate B got. So candidate B is there, and there. So 8 people gave candidate B 3 points, right? 8, 3. 5 people gave candidate B 1 point each. 2 people gave candidate B 2 points each. And 1 person gave candidate B 1 point. So B is what, 24, 29, 33, 34? 34 points for candidate B. Not easy enough. And then finally we got to do C. This is pretty tedious. We got to do them all. So now do candidate C. So let's do it over here, I guess. C would be, so here's C, 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 and C. So 8 people gave candidate C 2 points. And 5 people gave candidate C 4 points. And 2 people gave candidate C 3 points. And 1 person also gave 3 points. So add that up, 16, 20, 36, 42, is it 45, I think? Correct? 45? So C didn't do bad. C almost won, but D is the winner with 46 total points. And that's what I'm answering here. D won. Is that good? Does that make sense? So it's another way of determining an election, just giving points. That way you're actually giving value to not just first choice, but how people feel about their second choice, third choice, fourth choice. Right? You're weighing in all their values, all their feelings, not just who they want first with that system.
And what do you use this system in this voting system?
Yeah, good question. Let me grab my notes. I think it's Rookie of the Year and stuff. Let me see. Board account used in the Heisman Trophy, when they picked Heisman Trophy winner, NBA Rookie of the Year, NFL MVP, college football polls, music industry awards, hiring school principals, university presidents, corporate executives. It's used in all these different settings. So officially, it's used with the Heisman Trophy, the NBA Rookie of the Year, the NFL MVP, and college football polls are officially, and then other places at random actually do elections this way. Yeah, so I guess when the how do they pick like Heisman Trophy? Don't the coaches vote? Isn't that what happens? Don't all the college football coaches vote who should get Heisman Trophy? I'm sort of guessing. I don't know. The players do? Is the players, not the coaches?
No, I think both.
Both? So whoever votes, they give points then to them, and they figure out a total point. So they do this kind of system. Whoever casts the votes, this is the system they use for it, though. They use the board account to determine the winner. Okay. Questions on that? Does that make sense how to do that? We good? So our nation could change, and we could do president election that way. It's possible. Although we seem to have enough trouble counting the votes with just the first place. This could be more problematic. Election. Remember what we're doing right now. We're trying to say, is this a fair method? We're trying to let math help us find a fair system to determine the will of the people. Is this a fair system? All right, well, here's the critique of this system. Let's suppose B drops out. So remember what happens. So B is out. B is cheating on their taxes, so they can't become president. So B is out. So I just drop B out. Even though people already voted, they're not allowed, B's not an option anymore. So we just drop B out of their preference schedule. Make sense? B didn't even get any first place votes, right? I mean, who cares? B's a nobody, right? So B's out, B's out, B's out, B's out. So that changes the preference thing, doesn't it? Not much. I mean, it just means, okay, now we have 8 and it's DCA, right? I just did DCA. B's out now. No big deal, right? Simple. 5, It's CAD, CAD. And then 2 people, they now, their preference voting is now ACD. Again, these people didn't change their minds at all. It's just B's no longer an option. So I'm just dropping B out of the table. 1 person ACD. Shouldn't be a big deal. Oh, and actually these 2 are the same now, aren't they? So combine them together, that makes 3 ACD. So which one of these 3 charts is the correct new preference schedule? Well, you can see I've got the green thing there. It's the one in the middle, right? Okay, great. So what? Well, now that we know that's the new deal, because B has dropped out, let's do the Borda count method on this, because that's the new deal. B's not an option anymore. And what we'll find is somebody else wins. It'll be a good practice. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to, what should I do? I'll go to a fresh screen. Would that be the best? Or maybe I'll just combine these here and we'll just squeeze it in right here. It might be the best way. So what was it? It was 3 ACD. Okay. Yeah, can you do Borda count real quick again? So let's do Borda count now on this set. It'll be easier. There's only 3 candidates. Oh yeah, it's good to have different. So remember for the last place, so remember how the points go? So this is your first choice, second choice, third choice. But the way the points go is you only get 1 point for last place, then 2 points, then 3 points for the points. Am I confusing you? Does that make sense? So first choice, second choice, third choice, but you start with the lowest number of points for last place, right? You put 1 point for last place, you just go up from there. All right, so go ahead and let's do Borda count. Let's start with A, I guess. I don't know, whatever. So I'll start with A. How many total? We're going to do the Borda count method, the point method. How many total points? Well, A's here, A's here, A's here. So 8 people gave A 1 point. 5 people gave A 2 points. And 3 people gave A 3 points. What is that? 18 and 9, 19, 27? All right, 27, yeah. So A got 27 points. Can you do, I was going to say B and C. There's no B. Can you do C and D? I don't know how many points C got and D got. So C. That's what it is. So it's C, C, C. So 8 times 2. D's 32. 32. Okay. 5 times. You guys are quick. And 3 times 2. Is that 16? So what did you guys say that was? 32. Thank you. So
No, C was 37.
Oh, 37. I'm getting mixed up. Okay, 37. The other one's 32, huh? So these 37. And then finally, D. D is 8. 8 times 3. And 5. 1. And 3 times 1. Whoops, I'm looking at the places instead of the points. That was 32? 32. Yeah, it is. It is 32. We get there? Am I racing ahead? See how we're determining those? So who's the winner? C. Which means the winner changed. All right. Is everybody seeing that? See what happens. So think about how you would feel if you were candidate D. Okay? Everybody cast their votes, right? This is not re-voting, is it? They didn't re-vote. We just had a candidate drop out. So everybody cast their votes, and the committee throws them into the computer or whatever, calculates them by hand. They go, D, you're going to win. We're about to announce it. You won. And then the phone call comes in. They go, oh, we found out that candidate B was cheating on their taxes or whatever, so they're out. So the committee goes, oh, no big deal. B was a nobody anyway. Nobody even put B first place. They drop B out, add up the numbers again, and then they say, oh, D, you didn't win anymore. So how would you feel if you were D? What changed? The people didn't, the people, however they felt here, they felt there. The people's feelings haven't changed. And a nobody drops out of the election and suddenly I'm not the winner anymore? Do you see what D would feel? Like, I don't know what kind of system you're using, but that's not fair. That's how D would feel, right? Question, comment?
Yeah, how do you get like the A27? Are you adding like the one in A?
Oh yeah, good question. Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm saying for A, where's the A? The A is right here. 8 people gave A 1 point. And the way I got these points is I started with the bottom. You always start at the bottom, you can go from 1 and go on up there. Because last place, third place, is 1 point, and 2, and then 3 go up. So 8, this is 8 different people voted this way. DCA. So 8 people put A last. So 8 people gave 1 point to A. And then 5 people gave 2 points to A, 5 times 2. And 3 people gave 3 points to A. I'm doing it like that. Good. Other questions on generally?
So are you times it or adding it or what?
Yeah, so the parentheses I'm timesing those. So I'm going 8 times 1 plus 5 times 2 plus 3 times 3. Yeah, so timesing and then adding. You're right. Yeah. Good. Other questions on that? Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah, those 2 points, the 2 and the 3, you just added them together since both of them had A as first place.
Exactly. Yeah. Well said. Exactly right. Yeah, because when you drop the B out of these guys, they're both ACD then. ACD. So they're both the same exact voting, really. So I just said, look, there's really 3 people that all voted the same way, really. Yeah, exactly right. So that's why I did that. Good. Other questions on calculating all that?
Wait, would it change if there's only 2 candidates after that?
Like if somebody else dropped out?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of the problem with this method. It seems so fair on the surface, doesn't it? It just looks like it's totally fair. Just give them points, it's all good. But we can see from this that there's something funny going on, something fishy here, right? I mean, it shouldn't be the case that when a nobody drops out, it changes the results of the election without anybody revoting. I mean, so you're telling me the will of the people suddenly changed because a nobody dropped out? The will of the people, the feelings of the people suddenly changed? No, I mean, just the way you're tabulating their feelings changed. And it's some kind of bogus thing because you're switching the winner.
Could it change like that because B was second choice?
Here?
Example?
Yeah, I mean, it's things like that. You're right, I haven't really ever looked real close at what caused that to happen. But yeah, it's things like, yeah, this is probably one of the main culprits right here. Because then C moved really up, huh? To got a lot higher priority. Yeah, I mean, I think you're pinpointing it well. I think that's probably the main cause of the problem, is that suddenly now C's everybody's second favorite there, now that B's out. But so the main point I want you to see, because remember what we're trying to do, we're trying to let math come in and help us do something in society, that is, determine the will of the people, as fair as possible. That's all we're trying to do, is say what is a math method, a voting method, for determining the will of a crowd. When a group wants something, how do you determine what they want? How do you honestly, faithfully determine the will of the people? Well, we already seen that the first method, plurality, like the way we do president, has got some problems because it doesn't even consider second or third or fourth feelings. And you could get somebody elected that half the crowd hates, right? This new method, Borda count, where you just give points to every level, seems to have a problem because if somebody drops out, suddenly the will of the people has changed. How could that be? Doesn't seem fair. So that's a critique of the method. Yeah?
I think it's these points that changed. You had 2 points when the 5 people voted, but now you
Yeah.
have 1 point. Now that B dropped out.
5 people. Yeah, and D is now last place here, whereas B was last place and D wasn't so low down. Yeah, that hurt him too. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, both these things ended up having a big effect. This one exalted C and this one lowered D. Yeah, and so in the end, but you know, it just doesn't seem fair in the end, does it? That a nobody drops out and you're telling me the will of the people has changed? Doesn't seem fair. So that's all we're noticing is this method doesn't seem fair on that level. And these are written on your sheet as we're going. I've written all these out for you. You get a 3x5 card for the exam, which will take you 3 weeks or whatever. So you can write anything you want on both sides of a 3x5 card. So you need these definitions that are helpful to you or whatever. So we're starting to see where are we at. I haven't seen anything important here. Let me point for you the 4 methods. Well, we'll see them as we go. Here's the 4 fairness criterion on the 3rd page. These are going to be our 4 ideas of fairness. So what we're looking at right here, you see there question B. The results of A and C imply a violation of which fairness criterion? Well, if you look down at these 4 fairness criteria, let's read them. Number 1, the majority criterion. If a candidate has a majority of the first place votes, that candidate should be the winner of the election. That makes sense, doesn't it? What's majority? How's that different than plurality? Majority means more than half. Plurality just means more than anybody else, right? So if somebody has more than half, they should be the winner, shouldn't they? That makes sense. So that's our first fairness criterion. Number 2, Condorcet criterion. If there's a candidate that wins in 1-to-1, yeah, we'll get to that one later. Number 3, monotonicity. If a candidate is the winner of an election and in the re-election, all the voters who change, no, let's skip that one too. We'll come back. 4th one, independence of irrelevant. That's what just happened for us. Let's read this one. Independence of irrelevant alternatives criterion. Sounds so fancy. If a candidate is the winner, right? D won the first time. And then one or more of the other candidates are removed. That's what happened, right? B was removed. And the ballots are recounted, then the original winner should still be the winner. Right, it should. He should have, and it wasn't. Somebody else won. So we violated the independence of irrelevant alternatives. Now, B was an irrelevant alternative. Who cares about B? B's a nobody. That should have been irrelevant. That shouldn't have changed anything. But it did. So that's not fair. So we would say that last issue, this voting system, this way of determining the winner, Borda count, this point system thing called Borda count, violates, makes unfair, seems unfair because it violates the independence of irrelevant alternatives criterion. It violates it. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be giving the winner to somebody else just because a nobody dropped out. That doesn't seem fair. It violates our sense of fairness, right? We all have a sense of fairness. It violates our sense of fairness here. It violates that fairness criterion. Okay, so a better use of our time, I think. Yeah, I know what you mean about like a rigged system. It almost seems that way. Oh, wait, let me make that bigger. All right, let's see. Okay, so here we go. They want us to do the point thing again, the Borda count. So when they say that, let's just do candidate A. How about we just do A? Let me see if you're comfortable. Let's just do A, and I won't even do any more than that. So how many points did A get? Give that a try. Remember, for the points, I'll put the points right here. Points, you start at the bottom, very bottom, you get 1, and then you just count up from there, huh? Get 1 point, only 1 point for last place, and then go up from there. So A is here, 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 and here. So you can figure out the points there. So 30 people, this is the number of voters, huh? These are all the number of voters up here. So 30 people gave A 3 points, right? Is that good so far? Multiply that. 30 times 3, and then add 20 people gave A 4 points each. And 5 people gave A 2 points each. And so 2 there. 5 people also gave A 2 points. Somebody got that total? 190, thank you. So A got 190 points. All together. Then you just go on, find B, C, and D, and whoever's the biggest wins. Let's go dot, dot, dot. Good? Borda count? Ready for another method? So we have two methods so far, right? We have the plurality, just first place, who gets the most first place, like presidential election. And now we have the point system, board account. But we've seen problems of fairness